Hey guys, today with me I have a special treat. This is Pokemon Emerald going Kamado Unite. I've once used this. It was like 2 years ago. There is no excuses for why I didn't bring you guys any more of these matches. Just so you know, I'm actually working on activating a show of this sort. Well, actually, making a show where I'm gonna store my episodes to make it a little bit more organized. To make it more organized, and I'm just waiting for YouTube to accept it, to love it. But yeah, this is for duration. Very important messages at the end if you're interested in joining. Very, very important. You gotta stick to the end to actually hear me out because I don't want to be talking it right away. But then again, you can kind of skip to the end if you don't want to be watching this. Blah, blah. Okay, enough talking. Swampert, get a crit, Sun with the next cross chop. That was amazing, great. I go for the sleep talk here, predicting the Spore. Swampert was probably his biggest threat towards my team, but little did he realize this. But then again, I guess I do have a Suicune, and if stuff come down to worse, I can always go for the rest. Still, he's gonna go for the Spore. He doesn't go for the Spore. I predict the Spore. Retaliate with the Sleep Talk, but the guy goes for a sub and then goes for the Lead Seat. It's a Sub-Seeder, Breloom. It probably has some defense to it. It depends. Or maybe it's just all around offensive with Lead Seat to support, because in the first generation, if you guys still didn't know, grass types are considered special, and Breloom's special stats aren't all that great to begin with, especially offensively speaking. But I'm gonna switch out to Venusaur this turn. I'm thinking, well, he probably thinks I'm not gonna Sleep Talk. He's Lead Seat at my Machamp already. I'm not gonna be too risky, so I'm gonna switch out to Venusaur, thinking, okay, I can probably take whatever he's got, including Spore. And I do take the Spore. Switching out to Suicune, I see he decides to go for a sub. And now on this turn, I actually started to realize what this guy is all about. He's about Lead Seat, Focus Punching. Probably does have Focus Punch. There's no way denying that. Venusaur may have been a good switch, but then again, Breloom normally does outspeed if he's running some heavy investment in speed. Actually, not heavy, just a little bit investment in speed. Actually, normally I believe Breloom outspeeds Venusaur, if I'm not mistaken, or do they both have same base speed? I'm not too sure. It never really come down to that. But why am I talking about that? Because is of course especially defensive. Anyways, I'm going for Ice Beam after taking Focus Punch. He needs to be behind the sub for Focus Punch to work because it needs to focus. So he's going to be forced to switch out. Luckily, I do get a freeze on the Snorlax. Probably his biggest threat. And he's luckily not going to get rid of that freeze in that particular turn, which is going to give me the opportunity to go all out, or at least force the Snorlax to get out of here, because it's a pain. And see how much his moves have been doing. No lefties. I'm probably thinking, well, his moves have been doing, my moves have been doing, not to mention that he didn't get any. Ice Beam did sorta a little bit more, plus no lefties. I'm thinking he's banded. Still, I wasn't too sure. It's a little bit too early. I still didn't see him going all out offensive on me, but I'm kind of going towards that. Anyways, Machamp, cross chop on the switch, doing a lot. I'm thinking that this win is a little bit more offensive. He's not defensive in any way, shape, or form. And I'm gonna go for the Rock Slide. I guess he isn't really expecting it. Maybe he thinks I have Earthquake. But for now, I'm gonna switch out to Venusaur. He does see the switch coming after a Metal Sound. I'm probably gonna be forced to switch out one way or the other. But Venusaur in this case is a good, reliable switch. I'm already asleep, so if he does predict this switch coming, hitting Power Ice without Melt Sound involved should not be a solid to hit, which is great to begin with. He's gonna go for the T-Wave. I predict that. I predict him to predict my switch. By going for the T-Bolt, I can probably take T-Bolts, like 4 or 5 of them. That's how much special defense I have invested into this Venusaur. But for now, I'm thinking, okay, he's probably gonna think that this turn I'm just gonna stay and try to wake up having this opportunity. So I'm gonna switch out to Machamp, and that's exactly what he did. So I kind of avoid the T-Wave there very, very skillfully, like a Bows. Venusaur doing stuff like a Bows. But we're just gonna go for a Rock Slide this turn. I'm thinking, okay, he can probably go for T-Bolt. Zapdos probably the biggest threat on his team. His Snorlax is frozen solid, so it's not as big of a threat as he may have been. But go for Rock Slide, didn't want to risk too much. He does decide to go to Metagross, and I'm starting to feel what kind of Pokemon he's got. He's been showing me lots of his Pokemon. I'm gonna go to my Magneton thinking, okay, I can go for the T-Bot at least once, but the guy goes for Earthquake. And to be perfectly honest, I was kind of expecting the Explosion, and realized I guess I do have Venusaur, but I actually wasted some sleeps back there in that sleep talks, and I feel that the Venusaur is gonna be waking up pretty soon now because of how the third generation mechanics works on the sleep. They don't reset on the switch, so that is actually quite great. It gives you a little bit of an achievement after playing with it. But Earthquake is gonna take down Magnezone, my Magneton. My main plan was to go for the T-Bolt and then go to Duck Trio, revenge it with my next Arena Trapper, Bandit Earthquake. Definitely would have devastated, but it didn't come down to that. He did predict that switch of some sort, and it took me by surprise. Now that does give me good opportunity to switch out to Suicune. Suicune could probably take whatever meter. This meter mash, this Metagross can pack Earthquakes as well. I can probably take both of those with complete ease, and if it doesn't get any plus attacks, I can probably take him forever because I do have Rest. Now the problem is he does have Zapdos, and I don't want to be having two Pokemon asleep. This is not a sleep talk of any sort, so I'm probably gonna need to play with this Pokemon a little bit. My plan is to do at least some damage to where the Dugtrio can come in and pretty much revenge it with ease. But still, he does go for the sleep talk. Luckily, I did not switch out once he actually started sleep talking, because that would have resulted in a real big massacre. If I would have switched out to my Arena Trapper on the turn he actually sleep talked, that would be huge, because Earthquake would have done a lot, if not even take down my poor frail Trapper. That thing is actually extremely frail. He's got like HP of 210 or what is that, like level of Abra's HP? It's pretty frail. Paper frail, but you know, I'm just gonna go for the serve, getting some damage with Calm Minds evolved. I can probably shot him down, but unfortunately that will not be the case yet. He will still fail of taking me out. I survive with magnificent 3 HP, Suicune doing work, and I'm thinking, well, if he does decide to switch out, pretty straightforward right here. There's no switches involved, no predictions involved. We just pretty much just both set up, trying to take each other down. Gonna go for Surf, and Metagross is gonna be taken down by the next Surf, which is great. Metagross, bit of a threat, but at the same time he didn't really pose as a massive threat. I did have Houndoom, I did have lots of things going up for it. Still, I'm gonna stay in just in case he predicts me to switch out T-Bolt. Yeah, I could switch out to the Dugtrio and go for the Rock Slide, but then again he has Flying type, and Arena Trap doesn't work on Flying types. Everything that is immune to ground is gonna be totally immune to my trapping capabilities. So in that case, I was kind of forced to stay in just in case I didn't want to take T-Bolts twice. Probably nothing on my team really appreciates that. You know, Hidden Power Ice on the switch with the Drill would have been even worse. But I'm just gonna go for the Crunch, expecting him to switch out to Snorlax. At the same time, I didn't want to risk. I could have Pursuit, yeah, but I didn't want to risk him staying in, because Pursuit wouldn't have done much and Lefties would have regained some. Maybe even Crunch would have not been a solid takedown. But in this case, I'm gonna switch out to my Arena Trapper, and the guy gets rid of the freeze. Like, he literally gets rid of the freeze, you know, just shows me he's got double edge, and that's gonna totally obliterate me. I was not expecting him to get rid of the freeze this fast. I mean, one more turn. I was just asking for one more turn. At least get me the opportunity to go for a Bandit Earthquake. Didn't come down to that, unfortunately. I believe the Geo had Aero Ace as well, so Brilliant would have not been a problem. But now I do switch out to my champ, having that team initiative. In this case, I guess not team initiative. It was just that I did force him to sleep. This right here just totally confused me, even in this commentary right here. The thing is, I was not expecting him to Spore. I already have one Pokemon Spored. You Spore my Venusaur. He told me that he was a bit tired, and you know, we all make mistakes when we're a bit tired. You gotta give him that. Plus, the game was pretty good, but the thing is, I would have never seen Spore coming, because that is Sleep Clause right there. That is breaking the Sleep Clause. Unfortunately, I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. Don't get me wrong. So don't judge him on this move, on this one move that he made a mistake. Now, the mistake right here was him not allowing me to wake up. Because if stuff would have been the right way, if stuff would have gone the right way, you should allow me to wake up. I could have easily keep on using the rest or something random just so I'm not gonna attack you, but you should allow me to wake up, because as you can see, me being asleep now, I cannot predict myself waking up, and I'm probably gonna fail at it. So that's gonna give him the opportunity to lead seed me and switch out, which again should not happen. You already spoiled my Venusaur. But enough of that. We're not gonna be complaining too much. Let's see how the stuff are gonna turn out. Hey, extra challenge. Let's go. Anyways, sleep talk on the turn. I wake up. Perfect, of course. It always happens. Lead seed, of course, is gonna regain pretty much. What is that? Zapdos was nearly gone, and now he's regained pretty much all his HP. Yeah, it's all of his HP being up there. Like nothing happened. All those past moves were for nothing, and now I gotta switch out. I definitely need to. So I'm thinking, okay, Venusaur can probably wake up sooner than he may realize. So I'm gonna take the T-Ball. He does switch out to Tyranitar. I'm starting to realize, why would he switch out to Tyranitar? Wait, this Tyranitar may be a Dragon Dancer, or this Tyranitar may be a Substituter, and that is something I cannot afford. So I'm gonna do the following plan. I'm gonna switch out straight to Machamp just in case he's a Dragon Dancer, because I know with one Dragon Dancer I could probably take his Rock Slide or something else, Earthquake and so forth. Venusaur, on the other hand, wouldn't have really appreciated, plus the chance of flinch and all the stuff that can happen in the previous turns. Now he did sub, which kind of gives me thinking it's probably a sub puncher. Hey, maybe it's one of those boa Tyranitars just gonna proceed to go for the cross chop. Luckily I do hit, which is excellent. And now I'm thinking, okay, if he's a sub puncher, then he probably doesn't have a fire move, like a reliable, really powerful fire move. He's probably invested heavily. Well, he may be mixed because Crunch, his next stab move, is actually special, so he may be mixed. Just gonna proceed to go for the Rock Slide, thinking, well, Crunch is not gonna take me out. If he does have it, he must have 2 stabs involved, even after Tyranitar's attack being way greater than his special attack, and Dark being special in this gen that it is. I'm pretty sure he's gonna switch out to Zapdos, and we do strike gold on that following turn there by switching out to Zapdos Sprite. I mean, it looks like an aeroplane of some sort. Oh man, I love it. Anyways, switching out to Venusaur, Sandstorm is ruining Zapdos' day because it's negating all the lefties that are helping him out. So that is kind of going into my favor because it may make Crunch a little bit easier now to take him out without regaining all the lefties that may happen. Still, my plan is, okay, he's probably gonna switch out maybe to Venusaur, and maybe to Snorlax, maybe to Tyranitar, maybe to his, no, nothing else, because he's got those 3 still remaining on his team, and my team is still looking pretty good. But of course, you know, that Spore and back then really kind of caught me off surprise and did kind of ruin a couple of moves on my behalf. But still, just gonna go for Earthquake, Poisoning. He's gonna go for the sub. He didn't really realize that I'm gonna break his up or do much damage to him by going for Earthquake. I do have it. I could have break his up, but then again I am faster, normally speaking, and I still have the Protect, so I can protect. This is a lead staller with Toxic and Earthquake, just in case I kind of go towards Rykos and towards what else? What else are the problem in this game? Magneton and, you know, all the things that tend to be, you know, heavy. Feel like, yeah, let's just go for Earthquake. Earthquake is kind of reliable at times, and you never know when it can come in handy. But still, his crunches aren't really doing much, and the poison is probably gonna take him down at the following turn, which is exactly what happened. And Tyranitar is gonna take the dust. That's gonna give him the opportunity to switch out to Zapdos, and I'm thinking, okay, I can protect, but what's the point? Sandstorm is gonna negate the lefties from both sides of the field. But still, I'm gonna take the move, switching out to Houndoom. This is a Lumberry Houndoom. I can probably take his T-Wave if he does decide to go for it, and relying on my Cross Chop missing. But this turn is where stuff come down to worse. I can make a good switch, I can make a good prediction or bad one. I'm gonna go for Crunch, hoping that Crunch is gonna be enough with Sandstorm, seeing that he doesn't have lefties. I could have gone for the Will-O-Wisp, which would have probably been the better move, but I didn't want to risk. Zapdos normally it does outspeed, if I'm not mistaken, and the problem would have been that if he would stay in, then he could have 2-shot me, as my Crunch may have actually failed taking him out. I could have gone for a Fire Blast, but the switch to Snorlax is a little bit obvious. Trick Fat, you know, minus, you know, the resistance to fire. Fortunately, didn't get a burn. His Double Edge may, actually it would have probably taken me out. Anyways, he is Bandit, and Houndoom is not known for his defense. He's gonna go for the Double Edge. He doesn't have much else to lose by not going for it. Would have been the thing that he would have lose. but yeah, the recoil is gonna take him down before the sandstorm. Yeah, it came down to that, and that was a pretty good game, Victor. Vector. I hope you guys have enjoyed as much as I did. More third duration coming up your way. I'm gonna be working on it now. For the most important stuff, again, about the sport, double sporting there. You know, we're tired, stuff happens, and just gotta deal with it. But about the more important stuff concerning Pokemon Emerald, Leaf Green, and Fire Red, I want to mention that if you wanna get involved with it, currently I'm taking matches over Skype. If you really want to go third gen on me, just hit me on Skype. I'm gonna get back to you. I'm gonna try to help you out getting stuff done, step by step, of course. Helping each other out. I would really appreciate if you guys would have done the same with others that want to play you. Now for the other stuff, the more important stuff, currently I'm gonna be sticking with the first generation, being that I'm kind of making an LP. An LP is sort of more close to second generation than third is to second, I guess. Well, in a way, competitive wise, it's more like the second is more close to the third, but still, I'm thinking that sticking with the third for now is probably gonna be. I'm enjoying third right now, and there's lots of varieties going on, so I'm gonna be sticking with the third. Pokemon Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green stuff coming your way. For the most important stuff is the guide in description. I show Leaf. It's a guide. All credits goes to A-Star the third. The guy is a genius. Now, the reason I said this is because he came out. Well, he actually realized how to make your connection go faster. And the first time I faced Vector, and this is total truth, okay guys, the first time I faced Vector, we were having a speed of 30%. 30%. It was unplayable. It came down to like 20, sometimes even 18. It didn't go anywhere. It was a major pain in the ass, total honesty. But the second time we actually gone step by step, checking out A-Star the third's guide, how to make it the connection go faster. It's kind of weird. You gotta pause the emulator for some time. The connection was going 85 to 90. That right there is magnificent speed. Very, very playable. Well, like I have harder time playing Far Cry 3 than I have playing Pokemon Emerald. That's how good the connection speed is. It's great. Yeah. That's about it. No more chit chat. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Spread around for duration. We need players, of course, like for every generation out there. Really appreciate all the community appreciates this. Thank you. And for other stuff, well, I may actually ask anyone out there. Like, we're looking for some really reliable guide. I could have made a guide, but I'm kind of busy right now, so if there is anybody else out there that's got the time and effort to put like a really good constructible guide for people to understand, I'm probably not the best person. I'm pretty sure that there's lots of other people that have more knowledge into the third than I ever did, because I only started with it and like 2 years ago. That's a lot of time. So please to try to make a guide for the community to kind of get involved with it, and I'm gonna plug that guide anywhere you like I'm gonna help you get exposure a little bit here and there. That would be great. And yeah, the time is kind of coming up to 20 minutes. That's more than plenty. That's too much for a Wi-Fi bell of any sort. Still, that's it guys. Hope you enjoyed. How many times did I say this? Peace out.